In 1995, a Major League Baseball franchise handed a 17-year-old kid from California a shot at the big leagues. That kid was Tom Brady, and he said no. But here's the question that keeps me up at night. What if he hadn't? What if Tom Brady, the greatest winner in American sports history, had said yes to baseball instead? And what could his mindset alone have meant for one of the most heartbreaking franchise collapses in MLB history? What if the greatest winner in American sports history never played a single down of football? Not because he was cut, not because of injury, but because in 1995, a Major League Baseball franchise handed a 17-year-old kid from California a shot at the big leagues. Okay, before we go into mode, let's get one thing straight. This actually happened. Tom Brady was drafted. In the summer of 1995, the Montreal Expos selected a left-handed hitting catcher out of Junipero Serra High School in San Mateo, California. Pick number 507 in the 18th round. His name? Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. Now, the Expos didn't just take a flyer on a random kid. Their own general manager, Kevin Malone, later said, and I'm not making this up, that Brady could have been one of the greatest catchers ever. Their scout, John Hughes, said Brady would have been projected as a late second-round pick purely on talent. The team offered him money you'd normally give a third-round selection. Left-handed bat, strong arm, athletic instincts. A major league face, Hughes said. That's scout speak for, this guy belongs. But Brady said no. He had a scholarship to Michigan, and football was his first love. And obviously, he made the right call for football. He went on to become the greatest quarterback in National Football League history. 7 Super Bowls. The comeback from 28-3. Pick 199. All of it. But here's what this video is not about. This is not about whether Brady would have been a great baseball player. Honestly, that's the boring question. The AltPlay question is this: could Tom Brady's mindset alone have saved the Montreal Expos? To understand why this question even matters, you have to understand what kind of organization Brady would have been walking into in 1995. The Montreal Expos were dying, and not slowly. In 1994, this team had the best record in all of Major League Baseball: 74 wins, 40 losses. Larry Walker, Moises Alou, Ken Hill, Pedro Martinez was there, John Wetland. 5 All-Stars on one roster. This was a championship-caliber team. Larry Walker himself has said he believes to this day they would have won the World Series. Then the players went on strike in August 1994. The season was canceled. No playoffs, no World Series. And for the Expos, that wasn't just disappointing, it was fatal. See, the Expos operated on a very thin budget. They paid players in US dollars, but earned most of their revenue in Canadian dollars. The exchange rate alone was eating them alive. When the strike wiped out the rest of the season and all the playoff money, the ownership group looked at the books and panicked. So going into 1995, they did what struggling franchises do when they stop believing. They sold everyone. Larry Walker, gone. Ken Hill, gone. John Wetland, gone. Marquise Grissom, gone. 4 star players traded away in a matter of days. The press called it a fire sale. The fans called it a betrayal. From that point, the franchise never recovered. By 2004, they were playing half their home games in Puerto Rico because Montreal fans had given up. On September 29, 2004, MLB announced the franchise would move to Washington, D.C. The Expos were done. So that is the organization Tom Brady was invited into in 1995. A team that had just lost its shot at glory, sold its best players out of fear, and was already losing the faith of its own city. Now, you still think mindset doesn't matter? Here's the thing people always get wrong about Tom Brady. They think his story starts with the Super Bowls. It doesn't. It starts with sitting on a bench, getting 2 reps in practice, and almost quitting. When Brady got to the University of Michigan, he was buried, 7th on the depth chart. Literally 7th. The starter got 20 practice reps, the backup got 10. Brady got 2. He was a long way from home, he was frustrated, and at one point he seriously considered transferring to California just to get playing time. But then something happened. Michigan's athletic department connected him with an athletic director and life coach named Greg Harden. And Harden gave Brady advice that would define the next 3 decades of his life. He said, "Just go in there and focus on the 2 reps you've got. Make them as perfect as you possibly can." Brady later described what happened. He said he started sprinting into those 2 reps like it was the Super Bowl. Full intensity, full preparation, maximum focus on what he could control. And slowly, 2 became 4. 4 became 10. He won the starting job. He became team captain. He led Michigan to a bowl game comeback win. And then he became pick 199 in the 6th round of the National Football League draft. The biggest steal in football history. But here's what I want you to sit with for a second. Brady's superpower was never his arm. National Football League scouts literally wrote in their reports that he had a poor build, skinny frame, lacks mobility, can't drive the ball downfield. Those were the actual scouting notes. 6 quarterbacks were drafted before him. What Brady had, what he always had, was an almost supernatural ability to walk into environments of low expectation and raise the standard for everyone around him. Not through speeches, through preparation, through relentless, visible work ethic, through making everyone feel like winning was not just possible, but inevitable. Now, put that guy in Montreal. Put him behind the plate. Because here's the thing about the catcher position in baseball. It's not just catching the ball. The catcher is the only player on the field who can see everything. Here's what I mean. Every other player faces inward, toward the action. The catcher faces outward. He sees the entire field, every defensive alignment, every base runner, every pitcher's body language, every batter's stance. The catcher is calling pitches, positioning fielders, managing the pitcher's psychology, reading the umpire, tracking runners, all simultaneously, all in real time. Baseball researchers have noted that at the start of the 2008 season, 12 out of 30 major league managers had previously played catcher. 12, a disproportionate number, because the position literally trains you to lead. It demands situational awareness, emotional control, and the ability to hold 2 roles at once. Be the cheerleader who keeps your pitcher confident, and be the taskmaster who keeps the game honest. The catcher is, quite literally, the quarterback of baseball. And Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback who ever lived, was projected to be a catcher. Think about that for a second. So let's say Brady signs with the Expos in 1995. He doesn't walk in as a star. He starts in the minors. He grinds. He studies pitchers obsessively the way he studied defensive coverages. He learns the game the way he prepared for every National Football League opponent, with complete, ruthless attention to detail. And in the meantime, what was the Expos clubhouse in 1995? It's a team that just lost its best players. It's a group of younger guys trying to fill enormous shoes in an organization that the front office has already quietly given up on. Morale? Rock bottom. Belief? Almost zero. The city's trust? Evaporating. This is exactly the kind of environment where one person with the right mindset can change everything. Not by hitting home runs, by changing what the team believes about itself. Brady used to say, "If you don't believe in yourself, why is anyone else going to believe in you?" Clearly taken from bumper stickers until you realize it came from a guy who sat 7th on a depth chart and eventually led the most successful dynasty in National Football League history. Not with physical dominance, but by making everyone around him better. Now imagine that energy, that preparation first, no excuses, the game is never over mindset, entering a young Montreal pitching staff. Imagine Brady learning every pitcher's tendencies the way he memorized blitz, slowing the game down when nerves are up, taking the mound visit to say the exact right thing at the exact right moment. And off the field? Imagine what happens when the youngest guys in that clubhouse look over and see a guy working twice as hard as everyone else, treating every Tuesday in May like it's October. That's contagious. Culture is contagious. Standards are contagious. This isn't fantasy. History is full of examples where one person with the right philosophy shifted the trajectory of a whole organization. Not overnight, not dramatically, just small shifts, day after day. And here's where it gets really interesting. The Expos didn't fail because they had bad players. They failed because ownership stopped believing. Because the story of the franchise became, we develop players for other teams. Brady changes that narrative. Not the box score, the narrative. Does he single-handedly keep the Expos in Montreal? Maybe not. The financial problems were structural. The Canadian dollar problem was real. But does he buy them time? Does he change the culture so that one or two more free agents consider staying? Does he make ownership think twice before blowing it all up? Yeah, maybe he does. And in sports, in business, in life, sometimes buying time is the whole game. Tom Brady changed the National Football League. Could he have saved the Expos? I think the answer is more interesting than yes or no. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you want more alternate reality sports breakdowns, the untold what-ifs, the ripple effects, the leadership stories hiding inside the stats, subscribe to our channel AltPlay and hit the notification bell. We drop one of these every week, and the next episode goes even deeper. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.